Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. I'm so happy to stay with you, my future and probably contemporary audience, to share about my heritage, my origin, my first born into culture. And just by doing this show, it helps me to see more, to understand more about my own culture. It's amazing journey so far. Hope you enjoyed too. We talked about 烟雾缭绕 yesterday and then mark every day. Okay. So on August the 3rd, 2022, we talked about 烟雾缭绕, this vision of smoky, but also with a certain humidity in the air, and mostly seen in the temples when we have incense burning, have the smoke in the space. It's ambience, okay? Give you that sense of, the smoke comes with a certain flavor, and the vision-wise, it gives you that kind of blurry, not 100% clear, and then give you a certain mystery, right? Because that's the place where you're supposedly to talk to either the divine or your ancestors, or some wise wisdom out there to try to get informed, inspired, to try to make some decisions in your life. So that's where we use temple for. And 缭绕 gives you, it comes from different origins. One is from fire, the other one is from taking a detour from an obstacle over you on the top. So both related to textile. So all that symbols put together make sense, give you this vision of the environment that's smoky and also foggy. So today we are going to go with 余音绕梁, continue with this 绕, this wrapping, this going detour to go over the obstacle. Okay, let's go one by one. 余, it means extra. Okay, came from this rooftop and with a horizontal beam, right? And then the bottom side is, okay, there's a vertical one. So for the housing to the frame to stand, right, you have to have both vertical and horizontally. And here is our plant symbol, often use that. So it's probably in a construction of ancient housing, there are structures like this to kind of connect, to lock things in, because back then there were no nails or hammers. Wait, do they? I don't exactly know, but in Chinese, I know furniture making, a whole technique about how to lock things, panels together, horizontal, vertical, how the panels are linked together without using nails. There's a whole, mechanism of that. So this, I view it as that structure. So it's a house basically with, wood frames to give you the sense of space. And here, the two, it's our number 8. And number 8, it's kind of a, sometimes we use it to create a concept of a separation, because it's two pieces coming apart. Instead of like a human is connected, right? It's one body, one trunk. You have two legs separated, but otherwise you're connected. But one is separated, it become our number 8. According to scholars, number 8 means you have your airflow, like flowing out easily without obstruction. So this ease breathing, like a visualize the breathing, your air in, air out, give you a sense of peace, like you are at peace. So in our contemporary interpretation, if you have a house, if you have a roof over your top, you have some, structured construction of horizontal beam and a vertical pillar thing in your house, and you can breathe easily, that means good living, like you are not under pressure of life's pressure, right? Financial pressure in our contemporary explanation. So that's one way of explaining why extra, it means extra, because it's a stress-free, basically you can breathe easier because you have a roof over you. And another one is, it came from a character that got food symbol on the left side, but eventually it got simplified, get rid of the food. But it was used to combination with food, means leftover from food. That means you can actually eat what you need and have leftover. And that's a good thing culturally back then, because you have enough to eat and you have buffer room. So this buffering is like embedded in our genes almost. Like we always prepare for the worst days in the future. We always would save. So Chinese have a, I don't know exactly the stats, but have a high saving rate. Like we always tend to save for the future when you do need to spend more money or have an emergency. So basically Chinese build up a big emergency fund throughout their lives. That's just the way. And this comes from this thinking of we need extra, we need that buffer. Chinese can never think like we can live check to check. That sounds just too risky to us. So have to have extra. So extra, when we have extra, we can breathe easier. We can be stress-free. Okay, so that's extra. And in, okay, in is a little bit complicated. I will try to make it simple. So this is the mouth symbol, right? This bottom block with upturning corners of the mouth, it's like a smiley face. That's our mouth symbol. And the top two kind of concave shapes, going upward tilting concave shapes like this, with the horizontal line connected. If that attached to the mouth symbol, that means the tongue. So my interpretation is, okay, this is kind of the shape of the tongue. And then this cross thing, kind of a pointing, kind of drawing your attention, indicator of this is the place, the exact location I want to show you. So that's our kind of a zoom in, right? Visually without actually zoom in, like a static zoom in to point, okay, this is something in your mouth and kind of look in this shape. That's in my interpretation of how this character was formed as the tongue. So now we have the tongue, right? Altogether, this portion is a tongue. And then we have the sound bites or sound bits or sound waves, whatever. So two horizontal lines, one longer, one smaller. In my interpretation of this are sound waves going away from the tongue, because if you look at the tongue or the mouth, these are the organs to pronounce, to make sound, right? Either you sing or you speak, you make sound by using these two organs of you. So that's how you speak, right? How you make sound. And the sound bits are the result of the production of your sound making. And sound making without this horizontal line here, that means speaking. So that whole component of the mouth, the tongue, and then the sound waves going further away, like diminishing in its energy. The whole structure means speaking, means words, something coming out of you. And if it has a horizontal line here, it's almost like something holding your mouth, right? You can interpret it as there's a certain energy or intention or beauty, or we before talked about how this pairing with, how this actually, the bottom portion also means sweetness. So something sweet from this supposedly speaking. So if you're speaking sweet is making music. So that's the kind of, it can be generically just a sound making from the mouth, but it could be paired. If Chinese see yin, we will, this is a multi-dimensional word. So it depends on what other words pair with it or the context. So we totally based its meaning with what it's, surrounding itself with. So yin in this context actually means music, even if I use the generic one, it could mean the sound coming from it, but if it's a sweet sound, it's a music, extra, like extra music, and then rapping that involves with this obstacle. If you have three soil, like a little mountain, I guess, in front of you, and this is a person with two legs, and this head portion, like horizontal line indicator of the head portion, like something even looming large in front of you that you cannot go over vertically, you have to go horizontally. So that's kind of wrapping, and with textile simply means something wrapped with strings or textile. So wrapping the beam. Okay, the beam came from liang, came from, actually, you see, this is the water sign. We have the three streams, like fluid dynamics motion over there, and simplified into three dots, right? That's our water sign, and the bottom is our wood sign. It's kind of easy to remember, right? With the wood. So this is the log, right? And then you have the upward curve, downward concave convex shape, right? Almost like in your geometry class. So you have this shape and this shape together, that means our wood. And then here, I don't see scholars give explanation of what that is. By itself, it can mean double-edged, double, like on a knife. So this is a cutting device, and two sides, these are indicator, like means both of them are sharp, double-edged sword or knife. But I like to see it because in other characters, I've seen this symbol before without the two indicators on the side. It means a boat merging lanes or something like that. So it's a boat. It's visually, if you see that, it can look like a boat, right? And with the two indicators on the side, it could be abstract, like indicators to mean, okay, the two sides of the boat or the knife, right? Or it could be literally, like you're paddling the boat with paddles, could be viewed as paddles of the boat. So this is water, the wood material bridged over the water with the boat that can coming through it. So that's my whole interpretation, because this liang originally used to mean the wood framed bridge. Okay, back then there are stone material, definitely no metal, right? So no stone, but a lot of them wood is most available and probably easy to use material for bridge making. So wood bridge, that's liang. And eventually this wood used to build the bridge was carried over indoor, like domestically within your house, your housing structure. If something is like a log that hold the structure, hold the something steady, that's our liang. Eventually it means the beam in your house. So, okay, extra sound, wrap around the beam. Okay, so we fill in the blanks because Chinese don't have those small words to give you exactly the spatial sense. But 绕 already means wrap around. And the beam is horizontally in the room. And that means I create this expression because it's not after taste, it's after sound. It means the music is so good that after days, according to literature, like a poet back then, 余音绕梁3日不绝, 3 days, it's still there. You can still hear it in your ears. So it's the music, it's so good that your brain don't want it to go. Your brain are going to keep the music in with you at least for 3 days. You can still hear it. You can hear the music as if it's wrapping around the beam in your house. Okay, that's how good it is. So that's the after sound. And I put a picture up here of a pipa. It's one of my favorite Chinese music instruments. I don't know how to play it because it's super difficult. Involves with fake fingernails, a pluck string, and this is many string. I don't exactly know. Well, 4. Okay, so there are 4 pegs, 4 strings, and then you have this peg position to make sound. It takes years to become good with this instrument. And this instrument, because it's super portable and it's 4 strings, so you can form a certain kind of a complexity of the music as the background. So people can sing along. It's kind of like a guitar, right? Guitar singing. So this is the Chinese version of guitar and the singing. So it's kind of vocal to go with this instrument. And you can, I imagine this was used often as the entertainment back then. Most often trained musicians, female musicians a lot of times, because their voice, there are certain qualities in their voice, and there are certain visual qualities as well. They can be well groomed and well trained, and have good voice. Of course, there were no recordings, so nobody can tell who's the best back then. But if you do encounter such a good musician that make the music into your ears, into your mind, into your heart, you're going to hear it. You have an after sound of it for days. All right, cash into the currency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.